Build habits that actually stick. The Absolute Ascension app. Link in comments.
Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just try to remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win. Because to become who you want, you have to go through periods you go. You don't learn how to go through hardship without going through hardship. And so if it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you.
The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Go for the discipline because it weighs ounces. The regret weighs tons because it can accumulate.
This one gonna hurt for you to hear, but I don't care because you need to hear it. You're behind, and you know it. But you're not behind everybody else. You're not behind your family. You're not behind the people that doubted you. You're behind the man you promised yourself you'd be. I know how badly you want to quit, bro. And I know how badly them voices in your head are telling you it's not worth it. But I also know how badly you want this
This is it. There will never be a more perfect time than now to put everything on the line. The minute you finish watching this video until the moment you go to sleep, you will remain focused. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about how long you can keep this up. Just do it today. Use every ounce of energy within you to be the absolute best that you can be. And every minute you should be doing something productive, whether it's meditating, prayer, a walk, working on your personal venture, reading, learning a new language, studying, whatever it is. Anything but spending time mindlessly scrolling on your phone for just one day. That's it.
And so you're here not by choice. You're led to this. And I believe we all have a destiny. We're all supposed to do something in our lives. But all of you are good at something. I know you are. Just expect big things. Think big. Think big. You can do it. You can do it. Why can't you do it? Take a little bit of piece at a time, have daily goals, monthly goals. But you can make it happen. It can happen. What's impossible in your life, go after that. Have that. Go after what's impossible. You gotta have something impossible in your life.
There's not a person on my team in 16 years that has consistently beat me to the ball every play. That ain't got nothing to do with talent. That's just got everything to do with effort. Nothing else. 15 straight years. 12 Pro Bowls later, if you want numbers. I done saw all of it. And the only thing that's kept me around is my effort. So when you put on this, all I ever knew, because I wasn't a number one recruit, I wasn't a number one linebacker, I wasn't even in the media guy. All I ever knew was effort will get me seen on tape. Effort will get me noticed to get to the league. Effort would one day take care of my mom and my kids. Effort, which is between you and you. Nobody else can give you effort. Effort is within inside.
It doesn't matter if you're stressed. It doesn't matter if you're hurt. It doesn't matter if you're upset. It doesn't matter if you're frustrated. If your discipline is on point, your mental toughness on point, you're going to be able to execute in spite of the situation being that way, and you're going to move forward whether you feel good or not. And once you can move forward whether you feel good or not, nobody can with you, okay? Because everybody else quits when things get hard. Everybody else quits when they get sick, or they have an excuse, or they get in a funk, or they get, whatever. If you're able to operate even when things are hard, you can't be with.
Meaning things happening out of their control, and because it happened out of their control, it spared their life. Meaning at a certain point, when do we control the controllables? Attitude. When do we control the controllable? Focus. When do we control the controllables? Commitment, dedication, spirit, the energy and the passion that I bring into an environment. When do we control the controllable? I couldn't control. I got a paralyzed right arm and hand. I couldn't control my career ended. I couldn't even plan for it. But when it happened, I could step back and say, okay, life, I can no longer play the game of football, but let me extract that dedication and commitment from the game. I can step back and say, my arm and my hand is paralyzed. My dedication isn't, my purpose isn't. My arm and my hand is paralyzed. My work ethic, it isn't. My purpose isn't. My arm and my hand is paralyzed. My dedication isn't. My purpose isn't. Meaning my reason for why I first started, it never got paralyzed. And as talented, as brilliant, as strong as people are, it's the saddest thing in the world when I see people just stop giving everything they got to something that they once loved. Because I think we all know the raw truth of it is, people don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. Meaning life hits them and hits them with something till they just like, man, if I gotta go through that, like I'm not bringing it today, man. And every day is not a good day. Everything is not all peaches and cream. But that's why the culture is so important. That's why when the culture is set, we know what we bring to it, and we know how we get down because we know what we're working for, and the purpose of it is greater than any individual.
To you. You'll be less than, you'll be a fucking loser if you don't. I can't leave the gym. You won. You fucking won. When you walk out of here today, you know, you've won. Imagine walking out the door a loser. I'd rather die. I would rather die than be that loser guy. Think about that. Do you want to walk out that door a damn loser, or do you want to walk out the door a winner? That, you know, I'll fight to the death. And sometimes I actually went close to death. It sounds crazy, but you got to give it that much if you want results. Otherwise, you'll be like everybody else. The majority of the population, they think they're training hard. That was hard.
Right now, the moment that you're going through is Trinity. And so you listen to the podcast, you go through the tutorials, you take the courses, you read the tweets, because you know deep down you can do more than this. And you begin to see the person that you could be, and you realize how far you need to go. But despite how far away it seems, you look back down that dead-end road and know that's not where you want to be. And so you keep going.
Most people fear death because they wasted their life. Too busy chasing approval, ignoring instincts, and ran out of time to be who they were. They lived for everyone else, their parents, friends, spouses, bosses, even a stranger on a screen, but they never lived for themselves. Now with their back against the wall, they realize the truth. The world never cared, and they let themselves rot for nothing. Now you can make excuses, say it was a sacrifice, but the mirror doesn't lie. So if you look in that mirror and see your reflection and ask yourself, was it worth it? And if the answer is no, then what the hell are you waiting for? Be you, and live like time owes you nothing. Because it doesn't. Do something that makes you happy.
Life is an opportunity, benefit from it. Life is a dream, realize it. Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a duty, complete it. Life is a game, play it. Life is a struggle, accept it. The second one reads, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, where he stands at times of challenge and controversy.
I'm gonna say something to you. You're smart, you're talented, you know a few things, but talent means nothing in this game if you don't make the right choices. There's plenty of talented people out there who never see the light of day anymore. Last thing, it takes discipline. Because this whole game is one big long shot. And if you don't have the discipline to stay away from the flyers or from the gambles or whatever else you want to call a stupid move, then my friend, I'm afraid to say one day you will go down. It's inevitable. You want my advice? Make a list of everything you want now, and then plan on spending the next 25 years of your life getting it, slowly, piece by piece.
Those who fight with dragons for too long become dragons themselves. And those that gaze into the abyss gazes right back. All of us have a dragon's lair, a haunting, a shadow, that thing within us, or that place where we don't want to touch, and we don't want to look, and we don't want to go on that journey of figuring out, because there's a dragon in there, right? That's what everyone's telling us. And so what this quote is trying to tell us is, hey, I know you've heard all of these myths and tales, but what if you went and figured it out yourself? What if instead of gazing and being so scared that you're gonna get eaten by something or whatever, you walk into the dark and go see it for yourself? Very scary thing. Not many people would do that because Mr. Fear has lied.
But the real answer to your question is that when it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
You have to be singular, inflexible, unyielding in your own work so that even the struggle, that very struggle to achieve, becomes its own reward. A hard, simple ability to continue is a kind of blessing. You can't do your work according to other people's values. I'm not talking about also following your dream either. I never liked the inspirational value of that phrase. Besides being sentimental, it's beside the point. Dreaming is a way of trivializing the process, the obsession that carries you through the failure as well as the successes, which could be harder to get through. I mean, if you're dreaming, you're sleeping, and it's important. It's imperative to always be awake to your feelings, your possibilities, your ambitions, and don't get hung up on the consequences, because they can be good, like awards, success, and even celebrity, and they can be bad, like no awards, no success, and no celebrity.
Things will happen to you. Things that you cannot control. A raw emotion will find you when it does. How you deal with it, what you do, will define who you are.
Did that happen to you?
Oh, it happens to all of us, whether we want it to or not.
These scars we have make us who we are. We're not meant to go back and fix them. And there's nothing broken with you that needs to be fixed. Take it from an old guy who's made a lot of mistakes. Don't live your past. Live your life. Don't let your tragedy define you.
What if it's supposed to define me? Your tragedy made you a hero.
And also made me alone.
I'm not defined by my past. My past has taught me who I am. To be able to evaluate the situation present and apply what I've learned to make the best choice. And that choice is based on character. It's based on morality, integrity. Never about financial return. Never about monetary value or tangible items. It's always been about the character, the intangible item.
Sometimes we need help to get there. Yes. You've come a very long way. In a very short time.
Well, it doesn't feel that way. But you should know that I have always taken the path that is most right.
Most right.
The result is never in question for me. Just what path do you take to get there? And there is always one that is most right. And that is what this is.
You have to be willing to sacrifice some comfort to step into what is for you. It may mean sacrificing old habits and old ways, right? This season that you're in or you're trying to step into may need you to sacrifice old habits, old ways of thinking, right? Old spaces you used to navigate. Are you willing to do that for your growth, right?
There's a weight to being alone that few people talk about. Solitude can feel like a void, like silence pressing in from all sides, magnifying every thought, every doubt, every piece of yourself you've been trying to outrun. It can feel like the world has forgotten you, like no one sees you, like you've been left behind while everyone else moves forward. But here's the thing about solitude. It's not a punishment. It's a crucible. Most people fear being alone. They fill their lives with distractions, with noise, with people who barely see them, because the thought of sitting with themselves is unbearable. But solitude forces you to face yourself. It strips away the masks, the performances, the external validation. It takes everything you thought you needed, the attention, the applause, the company, and asks, who are you without it? Who are you when it's just you? And that's where the strength is. That's where the growth is. Because when you're alone, there's no one to impress, no one to hide behind, no one to tell you who you're supposed to be. It's just you, raw, unfiltered, and real. And in that space, in that silence, you find the truth about yourself. The truth is, solitude doesn't weaken you, it sharpens you. It's in the quiet moments, the ones where you feel like no one is watching, that you discover who you really are. You learn what you value, what you stand for, what you're capable of. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's hard. But strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in the moments when you're forced to carry your own weight, when there's no one to lean on, no one to rely on but yourself. Think about a tree standing alone in an open field. It doesn't have the shelter of a forest to protect it. It's exposed to every storm, every gust of wind, every blazing sun. And yet because of that, its roots grow deeper. Its trunk grows stronger. Its resilience is unmatched. That's what solitude does to you. It makes you unshakable. But here's the thing about solitude. It's not just about enduring it. It's about using it. It's about turning it into a forge where you can shape yourself into something stronger, something wiser, something whole. Because when you're alone, you're free. Free from the noise of the world, free from the expectations of others, free to ask yourself, what do I want? Who do I want to be? And the answers to those questions, they're not easy. They don't come all at once. But in solitude, you have the time and the space to find them, to explore the parts of yourself you've been too busy to face, to confront the fears, the insecurities, the wounds that you've been carrying. And through that confrontation, through that process of sitting with yourself, you begin to heal. You begin to grow. Solitude isn't just about being alone. It's about becoming whole. It's about learning that your worth doesn't come from the people around you, the validation they give you, or the way they make you feel. Your worth comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are, from standing on your own 2 feet, from realizing that you're enough, just as you are. But let's be real, it's not easy. There will be days when the silence feels deafening, days when you crave connection so desperately that you'd give anything to fill the emptiness. And in those moments, it's tempting to reach for anything, any distraction, any temporary comfort, to make the loneliness go away. But don't fill the silence just for the sake of avoiding it. Sit with it. Let it teach you. Let it strengthen you. Because solitude is a teacher, and its lessons are powerful. It teaches you resilience, how to keep moving, even when no one is cheering you on. It teaches you clarity, how how to separate what matters from what doesn't, how to hear your own voice in a world full of noise. And most of all, it teaches you self-reliance, the kind of strength that doesn't depend on anyone else, the kind of strength that no one can take away from you. When you embrace solitude, you discover something incredible. You don't need anyone else to complete you. You don't need external validation to feel whole. You don't need the approval of others to know your worth. And that realization, that's freedom. That's power. And here's the irony. When you've embraced solitude, when you've found strength in it, you're no longer afraid of being alone. You don't cling to people out of fear. You don't settle for less than you deserve, just to avoid the silence. Instead, you choose the people in your life with intention. You surround yourself with those who add to your peace, not those who disrupt it. And that's when connection becomes meaningful. Not something you need to survive, but something that enhances an already full and complete life.
Trauma, tragedy, darkness. They leave marks that never fully fade. They change you in ways you never asked for, ways you never wanted. And when you're in the middle of it, when the weight of it presses down on you, it feels impossible to move, impossible to breathe, like the light you once had inside you has been snuffed out, and all that's left is this endless shadow. But let me tell you something. You're still here, and that means something. It means the darkness didn't win. It means you've already survived what you thought you couldn't. It means that no matter how broken, how hurt, how lost you feel, there is still something inside you. Something strong, something unyielding, something that refuses to give up. Trauma changes you, yes, but it doesn't have to define you. The truth is, life will break you. It will tear you apart in ways you can't predict, in ways you didn't prepare for. But the breaking, that's not the end. The breaking is where the rebuilding begins. The breaking is where you find out what you're made of, what you're capable of, what you can endure and still rise from. It's easy to feel like your trauma, your tragedy, your pain are the end of your story. Like you'll never be whole again. Like the person you were before is gone forever. And maybe they are. Maybe you'll never be the same. But who says that's a bad thing? Who says the person you're becoming, the person who's learning to rise from the ashes, who's rebuilding themselves piece by piece, isn't stronger, wiser, more resilient?
There's a Japanese art called kintsugi. When a piece of pottery breaks, it's not thrown away. It's repaired, carefully, lovingly, with gold. The cracks aren't hidden. They're highlighted, transformed into something beautiful. The piece becomes more valuable, not despite its brokenness, but because of it. That's you. Your scars, your pain, your history, they don't make you less. They make you more. But here's the thing. Healing isn't a straight line. It's not a neat process with clear steps and a perfect ending. It's messy. It's full of setbacks, of moments where it feels like you're moving backward, of days when the darkness feels like it's swallowing you whole. And that's okay, because healing isn't about never feeling the pain again. It's about learning how to carry it, learning how to live alongside it without letting it consume you. You don't have to erase the darkness to find the light. The two can coexist. And in time, you'll realize that the darkness doesn't make the light any less real. If anything, it makes it shine brighter. But here's the hard part. Healing takes work. It takes courage. It takes showing up for yourself, even on the days when you don't want to. Even on the days when it feels pointless. Even on the days when you'd rather stay in the darkness because it's familiar, because it's easier than facing the light. Healing means taking small, deliberate steps toward yourself, toward the person you're becoming, toward the life you still deserve to live.
And you do deserve it. No matter what's happened to you, no matter what you've lost, no matter how broken you feel, you deserve joy. You deserve peace. You deserve to build a life that feels like your own, even if it doesn't look like the life you had before, especially if it doesn't. But let's be honest, the world isn't always kind to people who've been through trauma. It doesn't wait for you to catch up. It doesn't give you the time or space to heal. And that's why you have to be kind to yourself. You have to give yourself the grace, the patience, the compassion that the world won't. You have to remind yourself that healing isn't a race, that there's no timeline, no deadline, no finish line you have to reach. Healing isn't about becoming the person you were before. It's about becoming the person you're meant to be now. A person who has walked through the fire and come out the other side. A person who has faced the darkness and refused to let it win. A person who carries their scars not as reminders of what they've lost, but as proof of what they've survived. And here's the truth. The darkness doesn't go away overnight. There will be moments, maybe days, maybe weeks, maybe longer, when it still feels overwhelming, when the weight of it feels unbearable. But those moments don't mean you're failing. They don't mean you're broken. They mean you're human. And being human means you get to feel the pain and the joy, the loss and the love, the darkness and the light. You are not your trauma. You are not your tragedy. You are the person who's learning to live again, despite them. You are the person who's choosing to move forward, one step at a time, even when it feels impossible. You are the person who refuses to let the worst moments of your life define the rest of your life.
That is strength. That is resilience. That is power. So if you're in the darkness right now, if you're carrying the weight of trauma, of loss, of pain, I want you to know this. You are not alone. You are not broken beyond repair. And this moment, this is not the end of your story. This is the chapter where you begin again. This is the chapter where you start to rewrite your narrative, not as a victim, but as a survivor. Not as someone who's defined by their pain, but as someone who's shaped by it, strengthened by it, transformed by it. The darkness is real, yes, but so is the light. And as long as you're still here, as long as you're still breathing, as long as you're still willing to take one step forward, there is hope, there is healing, there is a future waiting for you, a future that's not defined by what you've been through, but by what you choose to do next. So rise, not all at once, not perfectly, but steadily, surely, powerfully. Rise. The light is waiting.
99% of people in the world are convinced that they're incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically making them the most time and energy consuming. If you are insecure, guess what? The rest of the world is too. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. You are better than you think.
I've seen great dudes like you who have so much potential, and you can create so much change and solve so many problems for the world, literally sitting there suffering in silence because you fail to take action and you fail to execute on what you know you need to. Remember this, that average is the enemy, that success is your responsibility, and change can take place in an instant if you are willing to flip the switch.
You're not alone, man. You know, we're only alone when we find ourselves alone. We got to remember to get out there. Nobody's going to come and just help us be on alone. We have to do it. Nothing changes if nothing changes, you know? So if I want something to be different, I have to do something different.
Someone is dying to be your age. Someone is dreaming of living your worst day. Someone is wishing they had your apartment. Someone is hoping they had your health. Someone is working to get to where you are. Remember, yesterday you asked for what you have today.
The world belongs to optimists, because if you're going to do anything big, you have to believe that it can happen. Otherwise, it never will. Sean Puri says the cynics get to be right and the optimists get to be rich. 99% right and 100% wrong. They're right 99% of the time, but they're wrong 100% because the only thing that matters is the big one at the end. Your family and friends will say that every girl you ever date is not good enough, except for the one time you find a girl that you're actually going to marry, or that this business idea won't work, and you might have 9 failures. My first 9 businesses didn't really amount to anything. 9, as in the first one, I spent time on it, it failed. Second one, this one will be different. Spent time on it, failed. And then the third one, this one, failed. And then 6 more after that. And it's painful as shit because the whole time everyone is telling you, I told you so. And they're right. Today, but not forever.
It's Christmas morning, and I know today for a lot of you is a big reminder of the people in your life. And I know for some, it's a reminder of who isn't. Wherever your mind goes, please recognize that today is a great opportunity to care for yourself, to give the gift of treating today like it matters is the best thing you could do for you, because like any other day, it does. Do something hard to prove that even on a day like this, you can show up.
And I think that too many people do this. Why can't the world be more convenient for me? Well, the world is uncaring and doesn't care about you at all. And underpinning that statement is the entitlement, is the expectation that it somehow should. And I think that is a poverty lens. And so the wealthy accept the world for what it is and then choose to maximize and adapt. Everyone else tries to stomp their feet and throw tantrums and say how it's not fair. And they're right. And so what? There's a Haitian proverb that I think is relevant right now, which is, behind mountains are more mountains. Goals aren't finish lines, they're mile markers. And I think that's a great mental frame, which is that you think that your goal is to get to $10,000 a month, or $100,000 a month, or $1 million a month, or $10 million a month, whatever your goal is. And I can promise you, having hit those, you just move it again. The mist lifts when you get there and you realize there's another mountaintop. But where people lose their way is when they start listening to people at the bottom of the mountain who see them at the subhead and say, you weren't happy last time when you got to the last peak. Why are you going to be happy the next time? But that's under their assumption in their poverty lens that you did it to get to the mountaintop. You did it for the climb, and they'll never understand that, and don't expect them to.
A man matures through early mornings, late nights, pain, losses, disrespect, disappointments, deep reflection, and moments of loneliness with just you. Age has very little to do with it, as you can meet a man who's 23 and a boy who's 35. Because always remember, it's the days that break a man, which are the days that make a man.
Always believe, and you will achieve whatever it is that you want. Never quit halfway through something. Continue to move forward and finish it. Not quit, because nothing comes easy. It's all about never quitting and never giving up. Not winning all the time, because winning isn't everything. Sometimes when you get defeated, it makes you stronger and make you want to come back and work harder for it. And you respect yourself more for this.
You need an alter ego. A version of you that's limitless. Make your weaknesses their strength. Make your insecurity their confidence. Give them a name. Give them traits. Create an amazing character. When you need them, let them take over. And eventually, you won't need to pretend. It will just be you.
Greatness is built in silence. It's forged in hours no one sees. The lonely training sessions, the early cold mornings, the dark and late nights. Not to impress, but to prove. To prove you're willing to suffer for it. To prove you deserve it. To prove you're worthy of the dream. Because in the end, greatness doesn't shout. It echoes through the work you do when no one's watching.
All of us on the inside have two voices. We have a voice, and then we have a boss voice. The big voice is the voice that's been crafted and formed and created by our environment over time. It is the voice that has listened to every critic, every naysayer, every bit of negativity, and then reminds you of it every time you are trying to do something outside of the realm of everybody else. When you have a strong boss voice and you have a weak bitch voice, it sounds more like this. Yeah, they can't do it, but I can. Yep, that guy's settled, but I'm not. Yeah, I probably could take it easy, but then I'm gonna end up just like that dude. So I'm gonna go do the fucking work.
Not many people can push themselves to the extreme. Some people can take themselves to some dark places.
The dream may be free, but the journey isn't. And for us to make our dream come true, from a dreamer to a doer, we have to work for it. And so many people, they want to achieve greatness without paying a price. And what they don't understand is that you don't wait for the dream to happen, you gotta work for that dream to happen. The more that you work, the greater possibility you have to dream. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you have a big dream, you're gonna have to work for it.
So when we get up in the morning, everybody's talking about, I'm gonna attack the day, I'm gonna attack the day, I'm gonna attack the day. What are you gonna attack? What in that day are you going to attack? When you wake up in the morning, you have all this chaos, you have all this clutter that's going on in your head. And you cannot attack the day until you handle that clutter. All right, so the first thing you have to do is you gotta take control of that clutter. And most of the things going on in your head aren't your thoughts, they're somebody else's thoughts. You have to take that clutter, you gotta control it. Then from control it, then you get clarity. Then you decide on what you're gonna attack on that day.
I'm gonna look you in the eyes, and I'm gonna tell you the future. The world breaks everyone. You already know it's going to be wretched. The very good, the very gentle, the very brave. If you break, the fight is just beginning. There's no shame in being the broken man.
This will be the story that I will one day tell.
You just pick up the pieces, rebuild it, just the way it was, brick for brick.
That means the harder it is,
the pain that's going to come, it's going to come in waves.
The more epic the story.
You must build belief. You must build confidence.
By consequence, the more epic the hero.
You're not ready for what you want until you believe you can get it.
You don't have enough faith in yourself.
You have to believe you can.
You need to have a shift in your perception of yourself. Really convince yourself that you can do it.
And if that's the game that we're playing, if I can construct my belief system, if I can choose at any moment,
Step into your fears and continue to push yourself to go on. Something happens for you.
to believe something that's more empowering than I was believing the moment before.
It will enable you to transcend yourself.
Find your impossible. That's what you have to go after.
Winners define themselves by what they made happen. And losers define themselves by what happened to them.
Every morning, guys, I wake up, I look in the mirror, and anxiety fills me. Stressed out. And I'm like, man, there's not enough time. I'm out of time. I'm running out. I haven't become the person I want to be yet.
How do you believe? How do you change a belief?
Interesting subject, because I'm going to tell you something. Your results are nothing but the manifestation of your belief system.
When you're working on something you want to achieve, you have got to stand up to that voice. You've got to sell yourself every day on your abilities, on what you're doing, on the goal that you want to reach. You've got to sell yourself every day, every day, every day. According to your level of belief, it will manifest itself in what you're doing.
But the belief system you have to have. If you expect to lose, you will. I know a lot of guys are very talented. A lot of women are very talented, but they don't think they can do it, and they don't.
This is why thinking is so vital. This is why a goal is so important. Because we will become that. This is why people who set goals achieve them. The trouble with men is not in achieving their goals. They do that. It's an establishment.
Well, I think there's an infinite source of supply. We've been endowed with mental faculties that the most erudite scientists won't even guess at. I think most people wander around in a deep sleep, and they don't think, they don't invest in themselves, and the second they wake up and start doing that, everything starts to change. $1 million is not a lot of money. We're creative beings. We're working with an infinite power. And once we start to understand the power of our mind, and then start to understand how to utilize it properly, then we'll understand that we can do virtually anything.
Whenever you look at somebody that's been successful, do not allow yourself to make them extraordinary at your expense. You're capable of whatever it is that they're capable of, but it comes down to the mental constructs that you're going to have to build and leverage in your own mind in order to do something great. And that became my driver. We set out to actively ask one question: what would we do and love every day, even if we were failing?
Nietzsche said, "I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible." The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
Everybody wants to win, but in order to know how to win, you gotta know how to lose, because you're gonna lose more than you're gonna win. But every time you lose, what do you gain from it? So every time I've lost, people say, you gotta jump right back up. You know, get back right on your feet again. And I disagree with that. After you lose, or when you get knocked out, stay down there for a minute.
But I don't look at failure as failure. I look at failure as your first, second, third, fourth, fifth attempt. I look at them as attempts. I don't look at anything as failure. Because when you're willing to try to do something, not trying is failure.
It takes courage to act. Part of being hungry when you've been defeated, it takes courage to start over again. And as you convince you, as you sell yourself every day, every day, every day, you will begin to see a difference in the things that you're doing. Selling yourself on your ability to perform a job, to achieve a certain objective, telling yourself every day, here I go again, and I got what it takes. This is my day, and nothing out here is going to stop me.
95% of the game, like I said before, is right up here, guys. If you guys believe you can do this, that today I'm no longer be a loser. Today I'm gonna change my path. I'm gonna get on the path that says, I don't care how long that road is. I'm gonna see it through no matter what, because you know what? I've been living enough years in this hole, I don't wanna be here anymore. I'm not happy with this. I'm tired of making excuses. I'm tired of going through the same search of emotion as shit. I wanna be different. And last I look, every single day I'm getting older, meaning running out of time. It has nothing to do with who you are today. Don't worry about that. I'm not very interested in the person that I am today. I am a far cry from the person that I can imagine and the person I've promised myself that I will continue to work to become. So it's not about who you are. It's about who you want to become
and the price you're willing to pay to get there. You're gonna be attacked, betrayed, exposed, and humiliated. And you'll survive that. A lot of people can climb that mountain. It's the way down that breaks them. Just that's the moment when you are truly alone. And what will you do then? Can you summon the will to fight on through all the pain and rise again? That will be the defining question of your life. And I think you already know the answer. You're gonna be remembered forever.
If you could leave me with one piece of advice, what would it be?
Make mistakes, but don't regret them. Learn from them. Because regrets are the hardest things to carry when you get older.
I don't think you understand the power that you truly possess. Even in the darkest times, which you may even be experiencing right now, you still remain. You cannot be destroyed. Your soul, the life force behind those eyes, is the most powerful force that exists. Evil could open up Earth's core and hurl you down. It could cast you into an endless void. But again, you still remain. Why is that? What does that mean? It means that you are the decider. You decide your fate. You decide who wins, as you bear the gift of choice.
Everybody wants to be a star, but they don't understand that stars shine brightest at night. When you're going through the darkness, when you're going through the hard times, that's when the champions shine the brightest. That's when it's go time. That's when it's really time to put in the work. Listen, you're here because you know if you want your life to be different, you have to change, right? If you want your life to change, you have to change. The key to achieving success in any area of your life comes from your ability to change yourself. And a lot of times changing yourself comes from changing your mind first, reprogramming your mind to change your old patterns, to change your old beliefs, your old programs, and your thoughts, your habits, and your beliefs are your driving forces behind your actions. So if you can understand the psychology and the science that's behind mental reprogramming, then you can start to take charge of your life and create the future that doesn't look like your past.
Remind yourself that it's not about being perfect. It is about constantly putting one foot in front of the other, taking it moment by moment, step by step, not getting too ahead of yourself, right? Still keeping the vision and the goal and the dream at the forefront of your mind, knowing where you're trying to go, but understanding that it's a journey. And in this journey, you're gonna make mistakes. In this journey, you're gonna fall down. But every time you fall down, every time you make a mistake, every time you mess up, there's a lesson in it for you. There's an opportunity for growth. There's an opportunity to get back up and take the next right step, right? And that's why this journey is so beautiful, because you learn so much about yourself. It's about being open and constantly trying to progress each and every day.
Do you make money of this little table tennis thing?
Not yet. Some people can see farther than others.
Do you have a job?
No. So therefore, when people judge what I'm doing with their logic, it can't be done.
How do you live?
Well, I live with the confidence if I believe in myself, the money will follow.
So their reasoning, their knowledge, and their logic clashes with my superior belief.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
That doesn't even enter my consciousness.
Every day I wake up, I say to myself, you have two options right now. Keep dreaming with your dreams or wake up and make it reality. And I choose the second option, always.
What if what? What if you lose? I don't even see, I can't, my consciousness don't even elevate that thought.
At the end of the day, you've got to feel some way.
I'm playing to win, and to win I will destroy you.
So why not feel unbeatable?
And I'm not designed to come third, fourth, or fifth. I race to win.
Why not feel untouchable?
I'm destroying everybody that step on the court.
Why not feel like the best to ever do it?
I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time.
Unbeatable. Like, I literally felt like there wasn't a single soul on the planet that can touch me, that can beat me.
You say it to yourself and you look yourself in the eye and look yourself in the mirror and truly, truly believe that not a man alive can beat you, then that is the way it is.
If you want to be great at something, you got to commit your life to it.
Are you enjoying this life?
Champions are broken. People want what you have, but they don't want to endure the suffering.
They just don't stop.
It will cost you everything.
If you rest and I'm working, I got you.
If without you or with you, there is always gonna be champions.
If you want to be a champion, you better be better than 99% of the people.
And I need to win, because when I win is my proof that I am alive.
There was no second place. That wasn't an option.
So I embrace fear. I'm gonna fucking do it regardless.
I have the tiger, man, the edge.
The Black Mamba.
And the way to get it back is to go back to the beginning.
Steps on court, and that's what he does.
And I said, you're not gonna beat me. I'm prepared to die.
A champion feels pain, and he fights through it.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next month. Only one thing is true. I will be champion one day, I promise.
I have a purpose. It means I have an obligation to see a very specific thing through, and with that obligation comes sacrifice.
I'm happy because I'm fulfilling my purpose of life. See, everything was created for purpose. Trees have a purpose. The moon has a purpose. Rats have a purpose. Insects, everything God created has a purpose. And the wise man is he who knows his life purpose. See, 10 men with the knowledge of their purpose are more powerful than 1,000 men working from morning until evening and who don't know their purpose.
You know, I heard a quote one time from Vincent Van Gogh that really rang true. He said, he has dedicated his life to his art, and he has lost his mind in the process. When I sat and I thought about that, it sounded very familiar.
I think a lot of people just, they see you run and they say, oh, it looks so easy, you really look effortless. But before it gets to that point, it's hard, it's like hard work. Day in, day out, sacrifice, day in, day out. Just dying. This time when you run and you just want to stop, you just want to give up, like, to hell with this, I just want to go home. The day when you get up and you know what, you have a training today. You know it's going to be intense and you're like, oh God, I don't want to go today, but you got to go. And it's so hard and a lot of people don't know.
I have given every single thing, every ounce of my life to this craft, to perfecting my craft, and I continue to do so. And in the process, I have lost my mind, but in a good way, to regular society, to people who wake up at 9 a.m., who clock out at 5 p.m. They would look at me and say, I've lost my mind, but me, I have found it almost.
Obsession is going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about?
There is no second place. You know, for me, it ended up becoming preparation, right? Like, preparation is everything. If you're not prepared, then you're going to get second, or you're going to get third, or you're going to get last, right? Because there's always somebody that is overly prepared or more prepared than you are, no matter what. So for me, I just became that person. There wasn't a single person on this planet during those 20 years, pretty much of my career, but there wasn't another person on this planet that was more prepared than me. No, period. There wasn't.
Through this pain period, experiencing pain in your muscles and aching, and just then go on and go on and then go on. And this last 2 or 3 or 4 repetitions, that's what makes actually the muscle then grow. And that divides then one from a champion and one from not being a champion. If you can go through this pain period, you make it to be a champion. If you can't go through, forget it. And that's what most people lack, isn't this having the guts to go in and just say, I go through and I don't care what happens.
But being a champion is not just receiving a lot of money
or receiving a belt. I'm out there at 4 or 5 in the morning, chopping trees, working, to this day. But I got the will to win.
The thing that they all have, all the great ones have, they have this unstoppable belief in themselves.
My mentality was to go out and win at any cost. If you don't want to live that regimented mentality, then you don't need to be alongside of me. Because I'm going to ridicule you until you get on the same level with me. And if you don't get on the same level, then it's going to be hell for you.
Because in the heat of the battle, when it comes time for us to go head to head, you gonna gas before me. I really believe that. If I take my body through hell, you know, and I'm tired and I'm aching, I'm pain, and I got all these pains, and I'm working through that, what can you possibly do to me to stop me from doing whatever I want with you? You know, I already been through the fire. In my mind, you better keep going. Ain't no stopping.
Who determines when it's up for you?
When we say this cannot be accomplished, this cannot be done, then we are shortchanging ourselves. My brain cannot process failure. It will not process failure. If I sit there and have to face myself and tell myself, you're a failure, that's almost worse than death.
And just continue to keep your head up, continuing to march on ahead towards your dream. And never losing sight now. I think that's definitely, for sure, the most difficult thing is keeping your goal and your eyes set on that and not being distracted, not giving up. I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to keep going. But we have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
The pain and suffering, you need that. Like a wine, grapes need to be crushed. We need to be crushed. You see what I'm saying, brother? We need to be crushed before we can be who we need to be.
You are not ready. Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose.
I've been crushed. You know, my older brother was shot and murdered. I've been crushed. My other brother died from cancer. You know, I've been crushed. My mom gone, 19 years old, 2 years before I even turned pro. She never lived to see any of this. I've been crushed. My father's funeral was the first one I went to. He died in 2 weeks. Been crushed, never had a Christmas tree, never saw Thanksgiving. I've been on the road. I would in hotel rooms by myself for 15, 20, 30, 40 years, seeking an Olympic trophy, wanted to be Mr. Olympia. I've been crushed because I haven't won them ever, the Mr. Olympia. Won everything in the world, but you go back and you get second, you feel like they're just giving you bones and everything. I've been crushed, right? Because I've been crushing myself, chasing that. But God said, I've been preparing you for a greater purpose than what you wanted, you see? And we can't see it when we're in that crushing phase. And it takes time for us to get to that fine wine, brother. You know, so it's when we hold on through the crushing, we find that purpose.
To accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.
Basically, those things happen in life. You lose fights, you lose in life, you lose someone you love. But it's the person that comes back from that. The man's not thought of greatness because how many times he's raised in victory, it's quoted. It's how many times he brings himself up from the brink of destruction. Because anybody can win. Anybody can win. It's like when you lose, guys go broke and they come back. You know what I mean? It's just, like I say, it's a domino theory. You come down, you go down. You don't lose it and then everything goes down.
And once you have it, guys, let's jump to it. Once you have that belief, let's say you can figure that belief out. That's so strong that it overrides the crowd's disbelief, the adversities, anything. You welcome that shit because that right there is supposed to fucking happen.
I had all this pent up frustration that I just needed to let out. It was an avalanche, man. And, you know, there was nothing that was going to get in the way. There was nothing that was going to stop me.
Because without that kind of abuse on you, you will not become the battle-tested, proven champion that holds the title and has the value of the title.
Fear comes in many forms.
The scars make the man.
There's some things that I can't get over, and I'll always be scared of.
Both fear and faith demand you to believe in something that you never saw.
Like, I'm never so confident I'm gonna win. It's probably the fact that I'm scared to fail.
And then I realized that, man, I need to make peace with it, and there is no shame to admit that you're afraid, because there is no courage without fear. And when I made peace with that, it changes everything in my life.
People say it's like 90% mental, 10% physical. I just think it's 100%, man. I think everything is an illusion, you know. The mind is what creates these things, you know.
So when I'm faced with the challenge, I just embrace it. And what can one man do except forgive his best? If you fail, you try again. If you win, you try again and get better.
To me, a fight is not a fight until there's resistance, till there's something to overcome.
And then you continue to put one foot in front of the other. But it's not work, it's love. Because what you're going for is what you believe.
It's the battle that's going on within me that I'm carrying with me to these competitions. So it's not about you. It's not about anybody else. You're not making me go. I'm driving this thing, man, and you just so happen to be a person that's in a way that may get demolished in the process.
You are not in a fight. Look, I admit it. I equate life to a fight. I do. You're not in a fight until there's pressure, resistance, overcoming something.
You're gonna have to go through hell, worse than any nightmare that you ever dreamed. But in the end, I know you'll be the one standing.
Some of the best athletes, the greatest athletes in the world, do things when they're uncomfortable. But it's the best people who can overcome when they're tired, sore, not in the best mindset, can push all the pain aside. That's one thing that separates the good from the greatest.
You know, f your tired body, f that unmotivated mind, and get out there and do it anyway. You know, you better fight yourself, because you're not only winning when things are going your way. You got to figure out how to win when things aren't going your way. You got to figure out when your body's fighting you, when your mind's fighting you. How do you still, you know, just say, I'm gonna beat my mind today? Or do you just give in to your mind and say, oh, I'm tired today, I'm lazy, I don't want to do it, it's too hard, no one else is doing it, it's a weekend, it's too late, these are already off hours, oh, exactly what I want isn't happening right now. Like, okay, great. You know who that's great for? Your competition.
Champion mentality. I'm not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to the light that I have. So what would you say the biggest deception was? What was the biggest lie you were told?
It's not that simple. No, that's the biggest lie I was ever told. It's not that simple. And it's a lie they tell you over and over again. It's how they get you to give up.
So what's the truth?
That it is. That if you just do the thing that they tell you, you can't, then it's done. And you realize it is that simple. That it always was.
150,000 people died yesterday. Do you actually get that? And you are still here. And you can't find something to be grateful for? You're still complaining about teeny tiny little struggles. But I bet that if it was possible to give an option to all 150,000 people, all of them would gladly change places with you right now. You're alive. Your heart is beating. You have food, water, shelter, clothing, a few people that love you. You have so much to be grateful for. You have to learn to stop focusing on what you don't have and start focusing on what you do have. Because life isn't about having what you want, it's about being grateful for and wanting what you already have.
Whatever is important to you, where your heart is, there is the mind. Where the mind is, so where the intention is, there is the energy. Where the energy is, there's the creation. So if your heart is hanging on something, but your actions are doing something else, that just means your energy and what your heart really wants, they are not merging at all. So the universe doesn't know, what do you want? What should the universe give you now? So for me, it's all about alignment. What I feel inside aligns with what I talk, it aligns with what I think, it aligns with what my actions do, it aligns optimally with the proper circumstances. When everything is aligned, then the energy can just flow. Then it just flows and it just happens.
If life was nothing but green lights and we didn't have yellows and reds, then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. Go fail more. Go fail more. Forget them. Those people on the sideline that are saying the thumbs down or calling you something or being snarky, they're on the sidelines for a reason.
Freud said once, in retrospect, the struggle will strike you as most beautiful. Like the years of struggle will strike you as most beautiful. And it's true, you think about the worst moments of your life from earlier. Now they're integrated into who you are. And in some ways we understand that we couldn't and wouldn't be where we are without those things. We know not only is that true in a positive way, but it's also just true in how the mind works. Like the mind is really good at, this is what cognitive dissonance does. It works on you in a way that makes this thing for the best, even if it wasn't for the best. Like we're so worried about, will I regret it? You won't regret it because you actually don't have that many regrets at all. The mind is pretty good at minimizing that feeling of regret. We convince ourselves that what happened was for the best. So we know this is almost certainly where we're gonna end up in 6 months, in a year, in 10 years, in 30 years. And so why torture yourself in the interim, right? Why not give yourself some of that grace now?
Anxiety is literally nothing more than you thinking about something in the future and thinking about it in a manner where it starts to sound an alarm in your body. First of all, if you catch yourself worrying, if you catch yourself out in the future catastrophizing, if you catch yourself in that, what if this, what if that, if you let your thoughts spin, it will spin you out of control and then you're gonna start to feel anxious. And so you wanna count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and one of the best, most effective things you can insert as a different pattern is this. What if it all works out? What if it all works out? What if I get on this plane and even though it's bumpy, it still lands and it all works out? Because you can't argue with that. If you can stabilize your thoughts, your body settles down and it doesn't escalate. So you're gonna interrupt the worry, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you insert something else. You can also say this moment will pass. You can say I can handle this, but you've got to interrupt those thoughts and insert something else.
And familiar feels safe. We are programmed every day to seek safety. Programmed to avoid discomfort because it's safe. Programmed to stay small because it's safe. Programmed to play victim because it's safe. Programmed to seek validation because it's safe. Programmed to repel money because it's safe. We are programmed from the moment that we were born, to our childhood environment, to the people that we hang out with, to the music that we listen to the news that we watch, to the television shows that we binge. We are programmed to seek safety. But it is your responsibility to take ownership over your programming, or else you're gonna live life asleep. And what's the point of that?
The energy that you give is the energy that you get. And that's with everything, you know, that's with your mentality, that's with the things that you say, that's with the people that you hang out with. So it's so important that you surround yourself with people that's gonna fill you with life and things that's gonna fill you with life, and don't do things that's gonna take life out of you. make sure that your vibration is high, your energy is high, that your energy and efforts and your mentality is in a great spot. I mean, and most days are going to be good and bad.
Right? You have to learn how to embrace where you are with the bigger vision and the bigger picture in your heart and in your mind, right? That's the point of a vision. A vision is to help you see past the current circumstance, right? So if you're in a tough situation, right, or in a tough circumstance, what having a vision for your life does is it helps you to see past that. I know that where I'm at is just a stepping stone. It's just a moment in time in a greater vision.
Exercise more, push more magic into the marketplace, give more value to people, read more books. It's harder to keep on pushing, but that's what legendary is. See, the great legends are the ones that are at the top of the mountain and they keep on trying to get better. So I suggest to you with great respect that nothing fails like success.
Just a friendly reminder that sometimes, a lot of the time, self-love is just doing things you don't really want to do, but you know are good for you, and then trying to be kind to yourself in the process. Over and over and over and over and over again.
Excuses will destroy you and take everything that you ever wanted from you, if you let them.
The ability or the belief to believe in yourself to accomplish any task, no matter the odds, no matter the difficulty, no matter the adversity. The belief that you can accomplish it. Self-confidence.
You wait to be perfect before you start. You may never start. Excellence is a process. It happens when you do your best over and over again. You don't have to be perfect to begin. You don't have to be perfect to appreciate yourself. You don't even have to be perfect to be loved or to love.
You could all tightrope walk. You could walk down a straight line without worrying about anything, but you take that exact straight line and put it 20-story high, and you remove the balconies, you're gonna be so concerned about the idea of falling that it will make you fall, and that's where the superpower is, in removing the fear.
People get frustrated not achieving what they want because they assume that they're going to jump across a cavern in one leap. But if you picture your goals like you're trying to build a bridge across that crevice, and every brick that you put on that bridge is progress, and each one of those bricks represents a skill that you need to learn along the way. It just takes all the way until you get to the other side that you can actually walk across. And so the walking across is the outcome, it's the external perceived achievement.
The best way to avoid burning out is to stop living someone else's dream, is to stop waking up every morning to help them fulfill their vision and their goals and their dreams. And you start working towards yours.
To be a human being in this world means inevitably we feel pain. We all go through this. We all have moments of loneliness, of depression, of feeling like we don't have a purpose in life, of being aimless, of not having energy, being depressed, etc., etc. And when we have these moods, we try to explain them. Well, yeah, maybe it's because I woke up this morning, or because something happened earlier the day before, or something in my child, something's wrong. But I want to tell you, the source of your pain is your social life. It's the fact people are the source of your pain, that you misunderstand them, that you misread them, that you're constantly bumping into them and having these problems and these issues that I mentioned. That is why you feel lonely. That is why it's draining you. All of this turmoil, all of these emotions are draining you of your energy, and it is making you listless. It is making you confused.
And people might say, yeah, but what's the point of this growing? What do you mean by growing? Why would I always need to accept every challenge just for the sake of growing? Because this growing is the opposite of something is decreasing, something is dying, something is closing up. To grow, to open up, is the same as to bring light into the things.
Every decision matters. With every decision you make, you are either moving closer or farther from your destination. Every single one, no matter how small it may seem.
Deciding whether to sleep in or not, go to the gym or not, eat at McDonald's or not, it all contributes to either progression or regression. It is important to note that the more consecutive good or bad decisions you make will exponentially increase their impact. If you continue to make bad decisions, your state of being will decrease drastically. Likewise, if you continue to make good decisions, your life will drastically improve. Therefore, do not underestimate the power your gift of choice bears.
Every season has an expiration date on both sides. With grief, that will come to a close and you'll be okay on the other side. But then also your good times will also have an expiration date. So learn to be really grateful for those good times. That's been the biggest lesson for me. Let go of control and accept the things that happen to you and then learn to love them. I have to learn to love it. I don't have to understand what happened, but I have to learn to love that this is my experience and it's a part of it. And all I can do is move through it to the other side.
Which do you think is more important? More positive thinking or less negative thinking? Which is more important? Where do you get the most mileage? It's less negative thinking. About 70% of our negative thinking goes unperceived by us. It is so embedded. Positive thinking is important. You keep it up, keep it high. But if you want to get your real mileage, just cut down on the negative thinking. Cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. That's the villain voice. That's the critic in your head. That's the demotivator. That's the discounter. That's the one that raises the doubts. It takes practice, it takes some discipline, but you can shut it up.
And you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you're doing. In other words, if the outcome changes, does it change who you are, what you said, and what you seek to accomplish? Because for most of us, when we don't get what we want, a champion is made on the other side of I don't feel like. Right? Everybody that gets up every single day, they might not feel like it. But there's certain cats that's gonna embrace it and figure out a way to get better. There's other cats gonna retreat, they're gonna quit, and they're gonna settle into mediocrity.
The thing that they all have, all the great ones have, they have this unstoppable belief in themselves. And even if they lose, they learn. They lose, they learn, they come back, they get better.
But you have these like missions that you have to complete to get to the next level. And then when you go through your day, people distract you. There's loads of distractions. They're everywhere. You know what I mean? They're just there to sway you off your path of what you woke up in the morning to think and to do to get you to the next level of your game.
What happens when I decide for myself that I'm gonna do something different? I'm gonna have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes, man.
You know, it's always a little bit frustrating to me when people have a negative relationship with failure. Failure is a massive part of being able to be successful. You have to get comfortable with failure. You have to actually seek failure. Failure is where all of the lessons are. Successful people fail a lot. They fail a whole lot more than they succeed, but they extract the lessons from the failure and they use that, the energy, and they use the wisdom to come around to the next phase of success.
Truly understand that these are your greatest years.
The years, though, will either make you successful or entrap you into mediocrity for the rest of your life. So please, make sure you make the most out of them, because your time is limited. You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to be okay with being rejected. You have to be okay with not thinking like the 99%. If you want to lead, you have to lead from a place of confidence. And the worst thing you want to be is be a follower that follows followers.
Problem is, right now, there's a lot of softness in the generation of entitlement of what I think I should be able to do. I should be able to enjoy my college years. I should be able to have a social life. I should be able to insert whatever you want, and that's fine. It'll just come at the cost of something else. And I'm not the one who says like, this is right or wrong. I just say it is that way. There's only so many minutes, and there's a trade that you're going to be willing to make. And the people who will win are the ones who are willing to trade the most for the thing they want. And that oftentimes means you won't be able to go out as much. You won't be able to attend the birthday parties. You won't be able to, that stuff will suffer.
Can't believe in yourself without believing in possibility. You can't believe in possibility without believing in yourself. The belief that they could heal has to be installed. I just started disbelieving again. I started doubting, and I had to get back and change my state and start believing again. And I think if you keep doing that, you believe, you behave, you become.
What if I fail? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? I love that because it's true. Why not entertain the best case scenario? Why not flip your mindset into believing in yourself? What if it all works out? What if this is the best decision I've ever made? What if this is beyond my wildest dreams? What if I try and I not only fly, but I soar? And the fact is, if you try, you will fly in a new direction. It is true.
Feels like I get sucked into this negative state of mind so fast, it doesn't even feel like I have a choice. It feels like life is throwing me around and I have no say in where it goes. I understand. This is for no other reason than that evil fears you. It sees your power. It sees what will happen if you realize your full potential. And therefore, it will do anything and everything to make you blind to it. It will find your weak points, and they will attack them relentlessly until you give in.
You know, people get up every day, they do the same thing. They tell themselves they're gonna change their life one day, and they never do. I'm gonna change mine.
Hey bro, you can hit the reset button today. If you don't like whoever you've been up to this point, you can just stop being that person. Like today, you can decide to change the way you act, the way you behave. Every single day, including today, is an opportunity for you to hit the reset button on your entire personality, your work ethic, your discipline, your values. You can transform your entire being starting right now.
The way that you get better at making decisions is making decisions. See, it's not that you have a hard time making a decision. It's that you're unwilling to make the wrong decision. Almost every single decision that you make in life, you can change or reverse. You drop out of school, you can go back. If you break up with someone and realize, oh my God, that was wrong, you can tell them. And being able to make the wrong decision is how you make progress. There are no right or wrong decisions, ironically. There's just decisions. And the second that you make a decision, you now learn something. It's not about being right. It's about being willing to move forward and learn something from it.
That what you are after is not a career or a profession. It is not a yearly income goal. It is not a car or a lifestyle. What you are after is a feeling. You want to feel free. You want to feel a sense of control. You want to feel capable and accomplished. You want to feel like you have a clear purpose, and you want to feel like you are fulfilling that purpose. It is much deeper than a dream job or a lifestyle. Your soul is craving to feel, and you do not have enough of these feelings to satisfy that craving. This is what we are here to fix. This discomfort stems from a poor mental framework. It has nothing to do with anything in the physical realm. You adopted habits, behaviors, and thought patterns from your surroundings your entire life. Many of these behaviors and thought patterns are faulty and limited. This is what I call a poor foundation. In order to fix this problem, we need to recreate the foundation our mental framework is built upon, so that we can, with time, go on to build a strong and optimized mental framework, which will allow us to properly pursue these feelings that we are after and succeed in doing so.
Find the others. Admit it, you aren't like them. You're not even close. You may occasionally dress yourself up as one of them, watch the same mindless television shows as they do, maybe even eat the same fast food sometimes. But it seems that the more you try to fit in, the more you feel like an outsider. Watching normal people as they go about their automatic existences. For every time you say club passwords like "have a nice day" and "weather's awful today, eh?" you yearn inside to say forbidden things like "tell me something that makes you cry," or "what do you think deja vu is for?" Face it, you even want to talk to that girl in the elevator. But what if that girl in the elevator and the balding man who walks past your cubicle at work are thinking the same thing? Who knows what you might learn from taking a chance on a conversation with a stranger? Everybody carries a piece of the puzzle. Nobody comes into your life by mere coincidence. Trust your instincts, do the unexpected, find the others.
It's the human condition to be average. It's not to be as good as you can be. You know, it's the human condition to survive. Just get along, be average. It's special to get somebody to be the best that they can be, to understand the work ethic and how important it is to earn it, and you reap what you sow.
If the person you are competing against loves the process, you are never going to beat them in the long run. I mean, there's no chance. You might beat them in the short run. It's like the person who loves climbing is going to climb much higher than the person who just wants to get the view from the summit. Point blank. Because they love it. They're going to do everything. They're going to get better at it. They're going to research. They're going to like everything about it. They are going to get better, while this person's just focused on whatever the goal is.
There's a saying that if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. I learned that is a total crock. You will work harder than you ever thought possible, but the tools will feel light in your hands.
Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking, don't settle.
It's just a simple story. There were two nice people. One person built his house on the rock, and the other person built his house on the sand. And the storms came, as they always do, and the one that built his house on the rock was saved. And the one that built his house on the sand was lost. Not because he was evil, not because he was bad. Here's what it means. Nice people can make foolish decisions. Let's make sure we build on the rock so that we last forever, not on the sand and be gone when the storm comes.
Please understand that nothing works the first time. What is the average number of times that a person tries with a new goal before they give up? Can you guess? Well, the average is less than one, because most people give up before they try even once, and they move away to a wonderful place called Someday Isle. Someday, and most people live on Someday Isle. Your job and my job is to vote yourself off the island.
You were born to do something great with your life. When you were a little boy or a little girl, there was probably one person who made you feel that way. And you ought to give yourself the gift right now. Who is that person? When you're a little girl or a little boy, they made you feel special. There's probably only one, maybe two. Maybe it was your parents or your grandmother or grandfather, a coach, someone that was in your life and you felt something about you because of the way they looked at you or spoke to you. And the amazing thing about that is they were right.
We're not victims of this life. You know, we wake up every day with choices to make. And you get a choice every day. And like I said earlier, I think whether or not you're gonna look back on your life as a success is gonna be determined by what your values and priorities are and how often you're willing to wake up every day and make the choices that are gonna fulfill you and bring you the joy that you're looking for.
Human beings, our nervous system is hardwired for comfort. Whereas the essence of what makes us, some would say our soul, is hardwired for growth. And it's managing that dynamic tension between how good a comfort zone feels and the innate calling of our potential that lies outside of that.
Be challenges in your life. If the challenge is too great, like you're gonna fail because it's too far above you, you're never gonna reach it. If it's too low, you're never gonna have the energy. It's too easy, it's not gonna motivate you. But there's a sweet spot, like here, where it's a challenge, it's above what you can do right now. It's not so far above that you can't possibly do it, but it's enough of a challenge to mean, God, I better get my act together. I better get the energy together. I better change my habits. I've gotta get up earlier, I've gotta work harder. It's this challenge that's a little bit above my level. That's a powerful way of motivating yourself. You need challenges. You need constant challenges in life, or you're going to stagnate. It's just the law of nature.
Here's a harsh truth. It's not your lack of time or energy that's holding you back in life. It's your lack of desire. We make time, we create energy for the things that we really want to achieve. So the next time you're starting to blame your time or your energy for not doing the things that you need to be doing, what you really need to do is put your desire on blast.
The greatest version of you demands that you are extreme. There's gonna be plenty of times where you don't feel like waking up, but you do it anyway. You don't feel like getting your workout in, but you do it anyway. You don't feel like eating clean, but you do it anyway, because that is what greatness demands of us.
Procrastinate because your results are about to exceed your identity and you're turning the air conditioner on. So if right now you're getting 72 degrees of, you believe in yourself at 72 degrees of wealth or abundance or productivity, and you started to heat it up to 85, 90, 100 degrees, you subconsciously turn the air conditioner on of your life to cool it back down to what you really believe you're worthy of and you deserve. So the deep work is you got to raise that identity of what you believe you're worth to 85, 90, 100 degrees. How do you do that? Typically proximity to people who live at that thermostat setting. They will heat you up to theirs.
There have been so many times in my life where I knew I needed to do something, and then I filled all this extra time not doing that thing. And then the moment I did it, I was like, wow, that took way less time than I thought it was going to take. And not only that, it took way less time than it took me to delay to actually get to this point.
Big difference between 99% and 100. I always thought that I was giving 100%. I wasn't, but I was only 1% from making that money, from being where I want to be, from having everything in life that I've ever dreamed of. But it's that 1% that we sleep on. That's why it's so easy to be great nowadays, because most motherfuckers are weak.
If these guys can do it, why not me? You know, that's my mentality, you know. If that should be your mentality in life, you know, and anything. If those guys can do it, why not you? You know, why not you? Don't listen to your haters. Keep telling me you can't do it, and I'm gonna keep telling you, watch me.
Capacity. Because people oftentimes think it's about skill and talent. It's not. It's about capacity. The things you have to endure. The things you have to encounter, the things you have to go through in order to be in a space and place, in order to be a blessing. And a lot of people got the skill. A lot of people got the talent. A lot of people got the articulation. A lot of people got the vocabulary. But it's some of the most intelligent people in the world, they can't fight themselves out of a paper bag, baby. I've never been the most talented, but I've always had the capacity.
You deserve this. Everything coming your way, you deserve it. Blood, sweat, tears, all the focus, all the energy, all the passion, everything that you have to what you're doing. You deserve it. You're in this place where you can finally step into everything that you wanted for your life. Everything that you've been searching, praying, hoping, crying, behind closed doors, doing the dirty work for. You are in that stage to take advantage. Don't be shy, don't tiptoe, go. You deserve this time.
Many of the things that have happened to you have also happened for you. What is this here to teach me? And how can I get that lesson as soon as possible? And this, I guarantee you, the moment you have the conscious realization of, oh, this is why this is here, showing up to allow me to see whatever that is in your life, the change is for you.
Maybe it's all going to work out for you. Maybe everything you've been through and everything you're going through right now on the journey is leading you to a place more beautiful than you could ever imagine. What if you allowed yourself to live one day as if this were true? How would things change for you?
Regret is our most transformative emotion if we treat it right. Because regret does two things for us. It clarifies and it instructs. So regret's clarifying what matters to us, and they instruct us on how to do better.
Everyone has the possibility to unlock something very, very special about him or herself. And it's up to your actions. Ultimately, it's you yourself who also is able to unlock it.
Why do you listen when your boss tells you to do something, but you couldn't care less when you tell yourself to do something? Why do you have an alarm set to get to work on time, but there's no alarm to show up for yourself on time? You know, there's obvious consequences when you don't do what you're supposed to at your job. But how do you not see the consequences of poor self-respect? Tell yourself to do things and do them. And listen because you said so, nobody else. That is the key to overcoming yourself.
It's taken you your whole life to become the person that you are today. So don't get upset with yourself if becoming an entirely new person doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a journey, an adventure, not some project you can knock out in a couple of days.
You have to be singular, inflexible, unyielding in your own work so that even the struggle, that very struggle to achieve, becomes its own reward. A hard, simple ability to continue is a kind of blessing. The world may think of it as an obsession here. Besides being sentimental, it's beside the point. Dreaming is a way of trivializing the process, the obsession that carries you through the failure as well as the successes, which could be harder to get through. I mean, if you're dreaming, you're sleeping, and it's important. An imperative to always be awake to your feelings, your possibilities, your ambitions, and don't get hung up on the consequences because they can be good, like awards, success, and even celebrity, and they can be bad, like no awards, no success, and no celebrity.
Imagine you talk to the creator of the universe before birth and pick the person you get to become. You say, I want to be the most courageous. The creator replies and says, well, then I will give you monsters to terrify you so that you can conquer them. And you say, well, I want to be patient. Well, then I will make you work harder and longer so you can learn to wait. I want to be wise. And the creator replies, then I will give you failures that will crush your spirit so you can learn the value of judgment. You then say, it sounds like a rough life. Can you give me a good life? Creator replies, just like we measure the quality of a blacksmith by the strength of his steel, I measure you by what you are at the end, not the fire and the hammer it took to make you. A good life isn't a life that's easy. A good life is a life that makes you into a good person. And that, my son, is a hard life.
There's not a single individual in this room to their path to greatness that hasn't left friends behind, that haven't left individuals behind. We outgrow certain individuals. We outgrow the way they think. We outgrow the way they act. We try to bring them along with us, but some of us just don't have the ability to do that. And you spend so much time on them that you forget to chase your own dreams.
When you gonna start doing it for you? When you gonna start going after your success for you and stop thinking you need everybody else around you? You don't need their support. You don't need their love. You don't need their respect. Only love, respect, that you need is yours. You need to do it for you. This is a season of your life you need to be doing it for yourself. You need to be getting your health right, getting your body right. Understand that life don't go nowhere without your action.
Being alone is a harsh necessity, and if I'm fully transparent, I'd say most of my life was defined by just that. It's not that there weren't people around me, but I got to a certain point in growing up where I was almost certain that nobody would ever understand. You see, to be alone is very hard, and it's a constant pursuit in my life to get further from that, but I retain moments of embracing isolation because it's my opportunity to speak to the only person that is always on the same page. Me.
You'll never feel ready to do things that scare you. You will never feel ready to take that leap. Your brain is designed to protect you, and change requires risk. And so you are protecting yourself by saying maybe tomorrow. If you want to change your life, you must make a decision to change your life.
Learn to become still and to take your attention away from what you don't want and all the emotional charge around it, and place the attention on what you wish to experience. Energy flows where attention goes. You can begin right now to feel healthy. You can begin to feel prosperous. You can begin to feel the love that's surrounding you, even if it's not there. And what will happen is the universe will correspond to the nature of your song. The universe will correspond to the nature of that inner feeling and manifest because that's the way you feel.
It's never too late. Don't listen to these people who want to put you in a box. Don't listen to them. Be you.
Remember, you won't get everything you want. Simply sometimes it hails on your crop and rains on your parade. It's that kind of planet. You must learn to handle the negative. Don't ignore it, handle it.
Avoidance is just another form of fear. It's easier to run or to distract yourself, but that doesn't get you where you need to be. The real courage comes when you decide to face it head on. The discomfort doesn't disappear. You teach your body and mind that you're in control. Each time you face what you've been avoiding, you prove to yourself that you're not powerless. No more delaying, no more hiding. It's all part of the journey. This is your time to make it happen.
And what's the worst that can happen? We live in so much fear. We live in so much trepidation because we're worried about pain or frustration, yet we've experienced pain and frustration, and yet here we are, we're still here. What's the worst that can happen?
Real interesting thing is, what if you don't do what it is that you want to do, and you never know what can happen? Because what can happen is what you dream about.
The art of the comeback. There comes a point in life when everything seems to be falling apart. Maybe it's a mistake you made. Maybe it's a series of bad choices, or maybe it's something that felt beyond your control. A situation that pushed you down so hard that getting back up seems impossible. You look around and it feels like the world is moving on without you. People are succeeding, making progress, and you're stuck in the middle of your own mess, wondering where it all went wrong. The downward spiral, it's real. And when you're in it, it feels endless. It feels like you're caught in a cycle you can't escape from, a pattern that keeps repeating itself no matter what you do. And the more you fight it, the more it pulls you under. It's easy to feel defeated, to start believing that maybe this is just who you are now, that this is your life. But that's not the truth. The truth is, every single person who's ever made it, who's ever rebuilt themselves, who's ever had a comeback story worth telling, has stood exactly where you are now. And they felt the same way. Lost, hopeless, trapped. But the difference between those who stay down and those who rise again isn't that they had it easy. It's that they decided to fight for their own story. A comeback isn't about proving the world wrong. It's not about showing the people who doubted you that they were mistaken. It's about reclaiming yourself. It's about realizing that the version of you that's fallen isn't the final version. It's about understanding that yes, you made mistakes, yes, you messed up. But those mistakes don't define you. What defines you is what you do next. The world will try to define you by your lowest moments. It will try to put you in a box based on the times you fell apart, the times you lost control. But you are not the worst thing you've done. You are not the sum of your failures. You are the story you choose to write after everything goes wrong. A comeback starts with a simple decision: to face the mess you're in, to own it, and to do something about it. It doesn't matter how far you've fallen, it doesn't matter how bad it looks. All that matters is that you make the choice to get back up, quietly, without drama, without fanfare, just a commitment to yourself to move forward, one step at a time. And that's the thing. The comeback doesn't happen overnight. It's not a moment. It's not an event. It's a process. It's waking up every day and choosing to take one small action to make one small improvement, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Because the truth is, the change doesn't happen all at once. It happens in the small things, in the day-to-day grind of rebuilding yourself when no one's watching. The comeback isn't glamorous. It's not a montage in a movie. It's not this sudden transformation where everything clicks into place. It's slow, it's hard, and it's lonely. It's filled with doubts and setbacks. There will be days when you'll think, is this even worth it? Days when you'll feel like you're making no progress at all. And it's in those moments that you have to dig deep and remind yourself that this is exactly where the change happens. In the struggle, in the quiet, in the moments when no one else sees what you're fighting for. The beauty of a comeback is that it's yours alone. It's your story, your battle, your journey. And when you rise again, it's not about anyone else. It's not about showing the world or proving the doubters wrong. It's about looking at yourself in the mirror and knowing that you had every reason to give up, every excuse to quit, and you didn't. You fought, and that's enough. You see, life will always give you reasons to spiral. It'll give you excuses to stay down, to stay stuck. But it will also give you the opportunity to rise, to rebuild, and to redefine yourself. The question isn't whether or not life will knock you down. It will. The question is what you're going to do about it when it happens. The comeback is about perspective. It's about understanding that the downward spiral isn't the end of your story. It's the turning point. It's where you learn who you really are. It's where you discover that you have a strength inside you that you didn't even know existed. And that strength doesn't come from avoiding the fall. It comes from surviving it, from standing back up, from doing the work to get back on your feet. A downward spiral has a way of stripping away all the illusions, all the comforts, all the things that used to make you feel secure. And that's painful. It's brutal. But it also gives you a chance to rebuild, this time from the ground up, with a foundation that's real. This time, it's about creating a version of yourself that isn't afraid of falling again, because you know you have the power to rise. So, if you're in the middle of a downward spiral right now, If you're feeling like you've hit rock bottom, know this. Rock bottom is not your destination. It's your foundation.
It's so easy to lose ourselves in the midst of a storm, especially when it feels like we haven't seen a sunny day in months. And we think because this storm is so powerful that all of our dreams are going to be washed away with it. But what if the storm looked at you and said, if you stay true, what's for you will find you?
This is the comeback. Maybe you're in a rut, maybe you've just experienced failure, or maybe you're just lost. But this is the part in your story where the momentum shifts. This is where you find the drive that you've been looking for. It is now. This is the start of your comeback. The vision that you have for your future, everything you so desire, is begging you to pick yourself up and begin your journey, because the window is closing, and if you pass this one up, you very well may solidify your eternal existence within the dreadful cycle of stagnation.
When you find that sense of purpose, when you find what I call your life's task, everything has a direction, everything has a purpose, your energy is concentrated. It's not like you're just going down a single narrow pathway. It's not like life becomes boring and it's just about discipline and solving problems. It's actually the most exciting thing that could ever happen to you, because you never have that lost feeling. You wake up in the morning, you go, yeah, this is what I need to accomplish. People come at you with all kinds of distractions and boring and irritating things. You're able to cut it out. It's just the most marvelous piece of internal radar that you can have. So I genuinely wish that everybody can find that kind of internal radar.
You are the creator. You are creating every aspect of your life. You're creating time, you're creating memories, you're creating bad habits, you're creating good habits, you're creating good relationships, you're creating bad relationships. You're creating everything. You're creating things that you don't like, you're creating things that you love. You are a creative being, and you need to be continuously creating in order to maintain momentum and energy.
The undisputed first law of personal growth is this: that people will never rise above the opinion of themselves. And when we commit to self-mastery, we give ourselves the best shot at becoming the best and greatest versions of ourselves that we can be. And then we get to become the example and the invitation to others. Be the change you wish to see in the world.
You know, in this life, in your own personal journey, you're gonna go through so many ups and downs, ebbs and flows, twists and turns. And it's so important to just embrace them all with an open mind and an open heart, you know, and understand that, you know, you're in a constant state of evolution and growth. And growth sometimes is amazing and it feels great and it's beautiful. And on the other end, growth sometimes is also incredibly painful and uncomfortable. And it's the ability to be able to embrace all those seasons, all those facets, understanding that through it all, you're growing and it's all serving a greater purpose.
Forward is progress. They all matter. Don't fall into the trap of comparison. If 6 months slip by without you achieving your goals, it's okay. As long as you're here, time is your ally. You are enough. You are deserving. You are capable. Life isn't a race. Your journey matters. You'll get there when you get there.
Your life and the journey you put yourself through, there's nothing more than that. And that's all I want people to do, is realize that you have to struggle. You have to struggle. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace. The bigger the suffering, the more peace.
I really hope that you know that you are going to overcome the things that feel impossible to forget. Because here's the thing, very soon, you are going to start making new, beautiful memories that are going to find a home in that place in you that's empty right now. And I also hope that you know that what is coming for you is going to be way better and way more amazing than what's left and what's gone.
You can reinvent and rebuild and rethink what you're gonna do next any moment you choose. You're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too late. You need new goals. When you've been at this for a while, the goals that you had a decade ago are not the goals and the things that are gonna motivate you right now. So instead of beating yourself up for not achieving those goals, why don't you flip your attitude and say to yourself, maybe those goals weren't the ones that are meant for you. What is it that you want in this moment of your life?
Why is it that we need to run from the chaos? Why is it that we need to run from the pain? Why is it that we want to run away from the things that hurt our feelings or hurt us inside or scare us? Why are we trying to run away from that stuff? Because we both know that our biggest lessons, your biggest lessons that you've ever experienced in life have come from the darkest times. You ever notice that we spend a lot of time and a lot of energy trying to keep ourselves out of trouble and keep ourselves away from the pain and away from the darkness, yet that is actually where the gift lies, is inside those places.
When you're at your lowest, you realize a lot. Everything is raw. Everything is simplified. It feels like everything's been lost, and all that you're left with is the foundation of you. But these are the perfect ingredients for a rebirth and a rebuild. You may not realize it now, but you're gonna look back and realize that rock bottom gave you the gift of being able to start over. And not many people get that gift. The pages are blank, and you are the author.
But as a matter of conscious experience, the reality of your life is always now. And I think this is a liberating truth about the nature of the human mind. In fact, I think there's probably nothing more important to understand about your mind than that, if you want to be happy in this world. The past is a memory. It's a thought arising in the present. The future is merely anticipated. It is another thought arising now. Okay, what we truly have is this moment.
It will not be easy. You will get knocked down. You will be copied. People may even try to destroy you. You will feel like giving up, and it absolutely will be worth it. If world class was easy, everyone would be doing it.
The people will never rise above the opinion of themselves. Work on yourself. What do you want to choose to focus on? When we commit to self-mastery, we give ourselves the best shot of becoming the best and greatest versions of ourselves that we can be. And then we get to become the example and the invitation to others. Be the change you wish to see in the world.
The life, the existence that we are living is connected with suffering. So the reason why we suffer is either because of greed, we want more than we need, of hate, we get something we don't want to have, or ignorance, or sometimes called not knowing, because we don't know the outcome of our actions.
You were born to do something great with your life. You were not born for any other reason. Now, it could be in a big way or a small way. You were born to do something special with your life. And when you were a little boy or a little girl, there was probably somebody, I pray, but I bet you there was somebody who made you feel a particular way about you. As I got older, that feeling went away because the rest of the world didn't make me feel that. I want you to picture the face of that person who made you feel that way. I don't care if it was your mom, they could be gone now, right? Okay, let me tell you something about them, okay? They were right.
You have no idea when lightning is going to strike. in your life, but I stay wildly attuned to the potential magic, right? And it's like always paying attention because like the universe is trying to give you what you want. The universe is fighting so hard to give you what you want, and you just missing it.
Patience, the thing that goes beyond hustle and hard work, the discipline of patience, right? Because we all talk about hustle, we talk about working hard, we talk about grinding, this, that, and the third, but nobody talks to you about patience. Nobody speaks about that patience, because in the patience, that's where you gonna make it or you gonna break.
All great things in life come from delayed gratification, from like the ability to say, I know that the thing I want is on the other side of something that sucks. Every single thing you want in life is on the other side of something that sucks. Be willing to endure that in order to get the thing you want.
Our issue is depth perception. We think it's further away than it is. And because we think it's so far away, we create patterns and behaviors in our life that perpetually keep it there. And that's what we do in our life. But what if that's the great lie of life? And what if the truth is that you're one relationship away, one meeting away, one conversation, one new thought, one new emotion, one new tactic or strategy away from completely changing the trajectory of your life?
And this thing that people do, they avoid discomfort. It sounds ridiculous, but it just creates more discomfort. You don't realize that in embracing discomfort, in forcing yourself to do something very uncomfortable that you can control.
I am happy if I discover limits. This can be physical limits, it can be limits in terms of strength, it can be limits in terms of your level of stamina, because always when I hit them, I know this is my next project. This is the next area in my life right now, which is directly being mirrored in front of my eyes. This is your limitation. And so on the one side, this is motivating to me, but on the other side, it also just cultivates this constant drive, this constant fire. The most difficult thing is keeping your goal and your eyes set on that and not being distracted. I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you hope for. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
It's not about what was or what could be, but what is, and being where your feet are and putting yourself in a position to appreciate. Even if you want more and you aim towards achieving more, be grateful for what you have.
And this. And we spend most of our lives forgetting this truth, repudiating it, fleeing it, overlooking it. And the horror is that we succeed. We manage to never really connect with the present moment and find fulfillment there because we are continually hoping to become happy in the future. And the future never arrives.
You're not going to find yourself overnight. You're not going to become everything you hope to become in a day. Everything takes time. You're not supposed to know everything about how your story unfolds. You grow by making small decisions over and over again. So be patient and give yourself time, because even with all the uncertainty, one thing's for sure, you will get there.
Just remember, slow progress is better than no progress. Just stay positive and never give up. You will get there.